Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. Jake behind the camera, Chris in the driver's seat.
Yep.
We are headed out Saturday morning. Beautiful day. The rain has finally stopped. It's been raining. It seems like, what, for like the past week and a half.
Yeah.
And we are heading out to a pruning job, a new client. We are going to have a spider lift on site. We're really excited for it, but we currently do not have the chipper on the back of the International and no box of chips, so I figured this would be...
This guy doesn't know how to drive a manual.
Yeah, so good a time as any to let Chris figure out how to drive the International.
Yeah.
You better not burn out my brand new clutch and transmission.
Likely will.
Okay, well, let's try not to. So we're gonna be, I mean, right now we're just on the Woodyard Road. I figured this was a good spot to teach him at least how to bang some gears. And yeah, hopefully we make it there alive.
Yeah. We'll see.
All right, well.
Wish me luck, guys.
Go ahead, pitter patter. Do you know what you're doing?
No.
Okay, so that's reverse.
That's reverse, so we're not gonna do
So
that.
it's, okay, so it's neutral, obviously. You got the clutch in?
Yep.
Reverse, first, second, third, well, that was fourth, fifth. Second, third, fourth, fifth.
All right.
All right?
All right, neutral.
Yep. Now, you don't have to push down the clutch all the way to the floor.
All
Like, it has a high engagement point. But you got to give it some gas at the same... Oh, okay, hold on. We also have the emergency brake on. So, okay, there we go. Yep. that was my fault. I should have told you that one. Okay.
Empty as hell.
Yep, none of the gauges work, so don't go by that. You got to go by feel. I mean, sometimes they work, just not right now. They got to wake up. Yep, you can do the good old International gauge flutter. Okay, now hit it into second. There you go. But when you go, try and go like neutral for a second and then second. Don't go like banging them too hard. All right, well now we're getting on the road, so we'll catch up later. All right, guys, so far so good. Chris has installed it once. We've gone through a couple stop signs. He's had some practice shifting through the gears from first to fifth. He's doing pretty good so far. So
And no smell of clutch yet.
no smell of clutch yet. So, and no grinding of gears yet. So that's a good thing. Well, all right, guys, we got here safely. Chris did a pretty darn good job driving stick for the first time. Well, second. What, you've driven it once before a little bit?
Yeah, once in the wood yard and maybe like down your street.
A little bit. Yeah.
And this is the longest drive so far.
Yeah, did good. Didn't stall it out. You know, a little jerky on those uphills right at the end, but other than that, it was good. So we are here, guys, and let me show you what we got. So we have a small dogwood over here. As you can see, it's kind of in the communication lines. We're going to be cutting it out just slightly out of the communication lines. You know, after all, those really don't do much harm to each other. They kind of coexist. Then we have this big oak. Now, as you can see, this oak doesn't have much growth on the inside of it, and this is what we in the biz typically call a tree that has been lion's tailed, because you look and the only growth is on the very outside of the branches. It's kind of like a poof, like a lion's tail. So that's from old pruning, you know, from some other company that came in and pruned it, and that's not necessarily the best thing for the tree. So what we're going to be doing is just going in and taking out the dead wood. There's a big piece right there. There's some, you know, dead pieces over there if the camera will catch up, and that's basically all we're doing to all of these trees. Just taking out big dead wood and doing like what we call a crown clean. We are going to raise up this one limb that goes out over the power lines, because that is a power line. And then we will move over to this sugar maple. Again, this tree wasn't lion's tailed quite as bad, or if at all. This is just the structure of a big mature sugar maple. So there's a big dead plug right up there. There's a dead piece over there. So that's basically what we're gonna be, you know, going after on all these trees, like I said. Then there is one piece right there that goes out and is getting pretty close to the primary wires, so we're going to be probably taking that off, just give a little bit more clearance. This is the dogwood, as I mentioned. You can see it's in the comm lines a little bit better from here. Just gently cutting that out. These big mature dogwoods are kind of sensitive. And then we'll come over here to the last tree, and it's this big oak behind this Bradford pear and little magnolia. And we're gonna be doing the same thing to this one. Again, it has been lion's tailed a little bit, I would say. And we're just gonna be getting the dead. There's a little hanger, you know, right here above the magnolia. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, we're gonna be having a spider lift here on the job. One of our buddies locally in town just bought an 83-foot spider lift, and he has extended the offer to let Chris and I basically rent it and use it on our jobs, as he is a landscaper that does some tree work. He'd be happy to, you know, make money with it on the days that he isn't sending it out for his own jobs. So this is going to be the first time that we're going to be using it. The owner of it is actually coming to help show us, you know, how to set it up and everything, and might be doing that for the first couple jobs that we do with it. But then he basically said that we'd be able to, you know, take it out and use it for jobs as we see fit. So just panning around this property, it's the perfect yard for it. It's nice and flat, wide open. It's actually kind of nice to be playing with the spider lift on trees that are lion's tailed, because it gives you more room to maneuver, you know, especially because we're new at the controls. So it should be a pretty cool job, and the spider lift should make it a lot easier and save us a lot of effort from having to climb and, you know, get all over these big mature oak and sugar maple trees. All right, here comes the spider lift. Boom. That is a beauty. Look at that thing, brand new. 83-foot Arbor Pro. So this is the button for the outriggers. At this point, that and this button are the only buttons that I know what they do. This button definitely stops. All right, guys, here we go. All right, so that sucks it in. Oh, that's rotate. All right, well, I can't, it's locking out. It won't let me extend out to like cut this in two. So I think I'm gonna need a rope and a block. All right, guys, so I was trying to get to this limb out here and like cut it in half because we have the dogwood right below us. But this thing, the lower boom doesn't go up over center like past 90 degrees. And when I was extending out the upper boom, it was locking out because it was extended out all the way, I guess. So instead of taking it in two, I'm just gonna head down, get a rope and a block, which I probably should have brought up with me anyway, and just set the block and tie this piece off and take it in one big piece. Headache! Guys, this thing is pretty cool. It's definitely going to take some getting used to as far as figuring out like its capabilities and limitations. Like right now, excuse me, I don't think I can reach that branch just because the base is too far away. And like I said, the bottom doesn't go over center, but I could probably swing over here and start taking some weight off the maple. Headache! Okay, so I just came across this branch here, and you can see it has a nice crack in it for quite a ways, and it droops way out and over. It splits out from this one, so I'm gonna take this one because that's not safe. It could definitely, because it's already cracked, it started to heal over, it can definitely crack again. It's a little bit more prone. All right, just came across this crossing rubbing as I was trying to get to that cracked one. This is no good. As you can see, it's been rubbing and, you know, crossing here for quite some time. So I think the best move would probably just be to remove this entire thing. Not really much to cut it back to, and there's this whole branch here to kind of take its place. Headache! So right here is the perfect example of why we took that whole branch. See, it's cracked clear through, and because of that, water, ants, there's even an ant crawling right there, has gotten in. It's all punky and rotten, so no good. And even this other side is starting to get rotten too. Headache! Alright, so something that he said was cool was that once you're ready to fold it up, you're not really obstructed by anything, you can hit this home button and it will just fold itself up. So let's try that. And here we go. It's sucking the rest of the extension in. And now looks like it's rotating and dropping the boom simultaneously. And yeah, that's just gonna stop here for a second, get rid of my pole saw, keep hitting the home button. And here we go. I'm hitting the home button. This is cool, kind of like hitting the, you know, return to home button on a drone, I guess. But it just lines everything up perfectly straight. And here we are, basically all the way back to square one. All it's got to do, it just rested its lower boom. Now it's just resting the upper. Pretty cool. Oh, whoa. That's a wild feeling. Okay. Yeah. Ooh. Wow, this thing is sensitive. Okay guys, I am down from that thing. Chris got everything just about chipped up. Maple and first oak are done. We moved the lift over to the last oak, and Chris is trying his hand now at running the CMC 83 HD Plus Arbor Pro. There he is. It definitely takes some figuring out and getting used to. You know, this being our first time, just the whole like breakdown or folding up the outriggers, hooking up the remote, everything like that was a little bit tricky. I actually had to jump down from the thing because I couldn't figure out how to get the basket all the way down. And I had to pee really, really bad. I was up there for like 2.5 hours. So he's gonna do this oak. I don't think there's quite as much in this one as the first one, but it's always more once you get up there. So I'm gonna set you guys up on a little time lapse and see this thing in action. Well guys, everything was going great. Chris was getting some brush on the ground, and he screwed the pooch on this one. He is stuck up there, aren't you, buddy?
Oh yeah, real stuck.
It appears as if the pressure from that branch that's caught on the step locked the machine out, and now he can't move it from up there. I can't move it from the controller. So he is up there until further notice. We have a call into the 24/7 technical support from All Access Equipment. Thank God they have that. And they are going to help us figure out how to override it. There are a lot of controls on this thing, both down here and on the remote. And we, you know, at this point, being the first time we're using it, and the owner, Matt, I called him, and he hasn't run into this issue yet. So, so learning experience for us all. But, you know, I think due to lack of production, Chris is not going to get paid today. So, I don't know. That sucks for him.
1 hour later.
All right, after some troubleshooting, we got Chris free. He's back up and running. Technical support was very helpful. So we are now pretty far behind on this job. We should have been out of here like an hour and a half ago. But, you know, getting used to the new machine, there's definitely a learning curve. But I think it'll help out in the long run, being able to have access to this thing, albeit that it's not mine. We got some brush to chip up. Here we go. It ain't easy being cheesy.
Never is. After Jake so kindly told you guys that we had a success, I immediately went and locked it again.
A second time, but it's all right because I knew how to do it this time.
Yeah, that was a much shorter time suspended in the air doing nothing.
Yeah.
The second time.
So that kind of sucked. It put us a little bit behind, but it's all right. We got everything cleaned up. Tree looks good. No more big overlooming deadwood. And we actually have another small magnolia tree, kind of like this to prune, but it's a lot more unwieldy. So Arbor Pro 83 HD Plus is gonna be sitting here waiting for its rightful owner to come pick it up in about an hour. All we gotta do is load up our gear and get on out of here. But overall, what did you think about the spider lift? First time using it out in like a real working environment.
I thought it was pretty cool. There's definitely a learning curve, and you can't get too close to branches.
Yeah. It seems to have power, unlike a bucket truck, where it will just like power itself through a situation, and then it gets to a tipping point, and then it just locks itself out.
Yeah.
With like a bucket truck, you kind of feel it in the hydraulics. This thing seems to have much stronger hydraulics. I don't know if it's because it goes so much higher and has all these other functions, but that's at least the impression I got using it.
I like how slow and smooth this thing is. There is a little bit of a time delay between the action that you do on the controller and the action of the boom once the hydraulics kick in. But as you're working, it's a lot smoother ride
than a bucket truck.
Bucket truck. In a bucket truck, you can hit like the upper boom down, and that upper boom is going to drop and
fast.
You know, if you're not slowly feathering it in, you're going for a little bit of a ride. I didn't have a chance to go for a ride on this one. So
right. Well,
that's a blessing in disguise.
One of us needs a little bit more practice. I'm not sure which one it is.
Yeah,
only one of us got stuck today.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm just kidding. So that's going to be it. Maybe we'll set up a little time lapse for the magnolia tree, but Arbor Pro spider lift, pretty cool. I had very similar opinions as Chris did. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up for right now. Well, guys, that's a wrap. We are back. I completely forgot to turn on the camera for the magnolia, but it was a pretty big magnolia. Chris ended up hopping up in it and taking a bunch out of it while I worked the pole saw and the chipper. Came out pretty good. You know, we thinned it out a bunch. It was just growing towards the house, and the homeowner just didn't want so many, you know, banana peels in the spring. You know, all those petals drop to the ground and then rot and start smelling, and it's a whole big mess. But all in all, today was a success. We got both jobs done. Only got stuck twice in the bucket, or not bucket truck, but spider lift. What was it? You? I don't know who that was. I don't know who that was. But you know, as I say, practice makes perfect. and new equipment takes, you know, some time to get accustomed to. So
I'm still trying to get used to the Kubota.
Yeah,
honest.
you are. I'm surprised you haven't flipped that one yet, you know?
Yeah, not yet.
You flipped other
Not yet.
things, but
Close.
not the Kubota.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed seeing this thing. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more of the spider lift. I mean, regardless of whether you want to see it or not, it's going to be on the channel because I think it's a pretty valuable piece of equipment so long as we get more comfortable using it. And the only way to get comfortable using it is by using it more.
Your comments will definitely drive us to use it more as well. So
Yes.
be sure to throw that comment down
Yeah,
there.
throw the comment down there. We are really tickling 10,000 subscribers. We are very close. So if you're watching this and you've watched thus far and you have not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button down below. It doesn't cost you anything. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. Do the whole comment spiel like Chris said. But for now, I'm Jake.
And I'm Chris.
This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thank you so very much for watching, and we will see you here next time.